Hi, I'm Gary White for Central Kentucky Television. I'm here with Mike Cecil and Jerry Evans, who are with the Marion County Historical Society. And we're going to talk about a grand opening that is coming up on Sunday, and it's for the Marion County Heritage Center, which is in the old courthouse right on Main Street in Lebanon. And when is the grand opening going to be taking place?
It's going to be taking place this coming Sunday, beginning at 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock by invitation, and then to the general public from 3 until 7.
Okay, fantastic. And what can we expect to see at this grand opening?
Just about a little bit of everything, actually, Gary. We're having the ribbon cutting going to be done by our Kentucky Secretary of State, Allison Lundgren Grimes. She should be here about 1:30. And then we're going to give her a tour of the third floor, and she's going to see the Turtleman exhibit, the John Johnson collection of trumpets, and then also she will see the genealogy section and a document section. And then about 2 o'clock, 2:15, we're going to move down to the front steps, and where I'll be introducing some of the dignitaries that are there, and then remarks by our County Judge Executive, John G. Magnley, and then she will be given the opportunity to speak as well before we actually do the ribbon cutting.
Okay.
And
so what time will that be, the ribbon cutting, scheduled for?
It's scheduled at 2 o'clock, but I suspect it'll be closer to 2:15 by the time we get everybody from the third floor, move down to the front steps and get everybody in place.
Okay.
Roughly, yes.
And we don't want to forget that we also will have the quilt display, or the quilt exhibit will still be on display all Sunday afternoon, in fact, until the end of February.
Okay.
So that's quite an interesting exhibit to see. You know, a lot of our own people have taken part in that. Some really interesting quilts there.
If you haven't been to the Marion County Heritage Center yet, again, it's in the old courthouse right on Main Street in Lebanon. It has a lot of different artifacts. We did a little segment on the Turtleman exhibit when it opened at Ham Days.
Yes.
So people may have seen that, but you also have, as you're saying, with the quilts now, you also have a lot of instruments there. And I hear we're going to be able to hear some people as well, some music from people who know those instruments, right?
Actually, Don Johnson's going to do a set starting at 12:50 to about 1:20. He has about 7 of his, and 8, including him, I suppose, that are the people that played in the movie Lincoln. It's called Lincoln's Own. So they're going to be playing some music that Abraham Lincoln, he himself, would have heard. And then, and also at the ribbon cutting ceremony, Angela Nance will be Nance will be doing the anthem, and then also Don Johnson will be playing, and his group will be playing with her.
So that'd be really very nice. Yeah. And the weather's supposed to be nice on Sunday, so it'll be a nice day to come on out for those festivities as well. Now you're saying it's an invitation only for the first 2 hours, so you may have received that, but it's open to the public starting at 3 o'clock until 4 o'clock. And is there any charge for people to come?
Absolutely not. I mean, this is a community event, and there's no charge. And we certainly would welcome any donations they may care to leave while they're there, because nothing operates free of charge. It does cost us to run that facility. But there's no charge on that day, but come with an open heart and a large pocketbook.
Okay. And also Turtleman use might be on hand as well, right?
Well, we're expecting Turtleman himself, Ernie Brown Jr., and also Neil James, the Banjo Man, and we're thinking possibly the whole Turtle team could possibly be there. At least we're hoping so anyway. He is going to be greeting and meeting his fans from 3 to 5. And our Heritage Center is going to stay open to 7, and to accompany as many of his fans we possibly can. Also, will be available to purchase a picture of Ernie and his dog named Lolly. So they'll be available for purchase for $10. He will sign them personally, and so please come on out. And we're looking for a big crowd, actually, Gary.
That's great. Now, this Heritage Center has been in the makings for quite a while with the Historical Society, hasn't it?
It has been.
The history behind this, if I may just take a few minutes and talk about the history of it, the people involved in putting together this Heritage Center, we're really actually standing on the shoulders of members, long-term members, who had this concept 15, 20 years ago, Gary. They've actually written books on the history of Marion County, the families, those kinds of things. They've raised money through book sales. They've had donations, and for this day to come. And so a lot of those members, some of them are actually gone now, that had this vision, had this dream. And so it's really been the next generation of people who are putting this together. Now, when we first started out, we thought we was going to have a museum. But once we got into a courthouse and And when tourism came to us, local tourism commission came to us, suggested we might have a great opportunity if we would install an exhibit for Ernie Brown, Turtle Man exhibit. And I said, 30 seconds, I said yes, because simply I know that's a big hook for us, a big drawing card. And then we got to think about Don Johnson. He came to us and wanted a place of his own. And so next thing you know, all this grew. And it went from having a museum to a heritage center because we wanted to be more encompassing of all the things Marion County. And ultimately, Gary, we found a great partner in the Marion County Physical Court to make this happen. And at this point here, we just have the 3rd floor.
Right.
Okay. But now so many ideas are coming to us. We think perhaps if the county would go along with us eventually, hopefully we can get the whole building, because I believe we can turn the whole building into a huge cultural center of Marion County. And we think this could be a destination rather than a stop along the way.
That's fantastic. We do want to mention it is on the 3rd floor. However, there is elevator access too, so
yes.
anybody can actually get to the facilities.
That's correct. We invite people to take advantage of that. I might just further expound on what Mike was saying there, that we stand on the shoulders of people in this community that actually began this thing many, many years ago. As you look at the date it was incorporated, as you look at when the bylaws were drawn up, there are people that have gone on. And so we are proud of the fact that we're able to carry on this tradition that they started. And the grand opening is just a small step in what's going to happen with this organization. Just the beginning.
So, of what you have so far, what's the most interesting piece of historical or heritage information that you've learned?
I think, not being a native Marion County person myself, the most interesting and attractive part to me, and don't throw rocks at me, people, when I say it, but the Turtle Man exhibit. I mean, that's an attraction in and of itself.
Okay.
And I've met Turtle Man on more than one occasion. He's a fine gentleman, and he's becoming, representative of Marion County. He's not only big here, in fact, he's probably bigger outside of Marion County than he is here. We've had people from Canada, had people from Australia, they've called to get information on him, and a person called just this morning from Virginia. So they're going to make that 8-mile drive just to be here Sunday.
Oh, wow.
So
fantastic.
It's interesting to me, and I tell you, he's fascinating individual to interact with.
Right. And it's a great display, too, that you have there. A lot of interesting things. So if you haven't had the opportunity, this might be your chance to see that.
Absolutely.
How about for you?
Well, and the other thing, too, is, and Jerry's exactly right, though, but what's also equally, almost as equally as fascinating is Don Johnson's collection of trumpets. He has formed a group called Kentucky Baroque Trumpeters. And he is based here in Marion County. He lives in the area of Little St. Joe. And he said the last 15 years he's always wanted a place to call a museum just for his trumpets. Well, he found us and we found him, and we got together. We fit like a glove. So we have a room set aside just specifically for Don Johnson and his trumpets. You need to come see them. There's a musical piece up there called a Sousa horn. I'm not sure what it is exactly. I don't know it's a big horn, but it's a rare piece of musical instrument. And also, as you know, he has played with a group called Lincoln's Own. Played in the movie Lincoln. And he has played at the presidential inauguration, and the red uniforms you see in the movie Lincoln, and he's used at the inauguration are on floor. So you'll be able to see the uniforms and the coats that was in the movie. And John Johnson himself will be here. And by the way, Gary, if I might add, I think approximately 8 members of that group is going to be here. 2 of those members are driving a car from Maryland just to be here for this right here.
Wow.
And Don Johnson has said his group is called Kentucky Baroque Trumpets, and is based here in Lebanon, Kentucky. And so all of his members from all over, when they're asked where they're from, where the group is based out of, is Lebanon, Kentucky. So we're getting a lot of recognition just from that group by itself. It's fascinating. You need to see that.
Again, this is a grand opening for the Marion County Heritage Center. It'll be in the old courthouse right on Main Street in Lebanon. It's going to be Sunday, starting at 3 o'clock for the general public until 7 o'clock. So come on out. Festivities going on from 1 to 3 as well on the steps there. If somebody can't come on Sunday, when is the Heritage Center open other days?
We're open every day of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, 10 until 2. I'm sorry, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, 10 until 2. Thursday and Friday, 10 to 4, and Saturdays, 10 until 1.
Okay.
And there's someone there, and if someone has a special need, let's say they have a guest or a relative coming from out of town, contact one of the two of us, and we'll make sure that they can get into that facility. We want to make it open to the public. It is a public. It belongs to the public just as much as we can.
And as Mr. Evans mentioned, it is a volunteer group of people who are running this, but it takes some money to make this all happen. Still, there are expenses. So if you want to make a donation, they're happy for that too. How about a phone number and an email or address?
As you say, our contact number, it's 270-699-9455. That is our telephone number. Now, we have a website, but it's under construction. But we also have a Facebook page. Our website is mchistoricalheritage.com is our website.
Okay, but that's not up yet. It will be.
That's correct. Yeah, we're working on it.
But go to facebook.com and look for...
just Marion County Heritage Center.
Marion County Heritage Center.
And it'll pop up, yes.
Okay,
Absolutely.
Great.
And I might say, we're not going to turn anyone away Sunday, but we would encourage those that have received the invitation to please have them with them. It'll make it much quicker for them to gain access to the building.
Great.
So we encourage you, if you have received an invitation, please bring it with you.
Okay, is there a certain dress code we're looking for here?
Comfortable.
Comfortable. So come on out. Comfortable experience at the Marion County Heritage Center on Sunday, starting at 1 to 3, or from 3 on for the public. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Gary.
For having us. Thank you.
Again, I've been talking with Jerry and Mike with the Marion County Historical Society about the Marion County Heritage Center opening this Sunday with their grand opening.